Welcome to a conversation by Media Shala. Today we are here with Dr. Rohan Khandelwal, who is the Director and Principal Consultant Breast Cancer Surgery at CK Birla Hospital, Gurugram. Sir, it's an honor to have you with us here today.
Thank you, Mika. The pleasure's all mine.
Our first question for you today is, the looming prospect of a rigorous training holds back many people from following a career in the medical field. How did you handle that experience, and what advice would you give to future doctors going through the same experience?
Right. So I come from a family of doctors, and I've seen my parents, struggling in their initial years of practice, and I've seen my brother doing his MBBS as well. So I was very well aware of what I'm getting myself into. But I never did it because of pressure of my parents. I enjoyed the branch. I enjoyed seeing deliveries happening when I was a kid, seeing kids coming out. My mother was a gynecologist. So I was passionate about the branch, which is what I took it. And unless you're passionate about something, you will not be able to sustain it for a long term. So passion and determination is required to, get through MBBS and then super specialization after that.
Wow, that's truly inspirational, sir. We can clearly see your passion reflecting through us. Being a doctor is a profession that comes with immense power and accountability. You lead the only dedicated unit in North India offering comprehensive breast health services. How do you shoulder the responsibility for human lives?
Right. So first of all, small correction, and mine is not the only unit. There are other units as well, but mine was one of the first to get started. And the reason why I took up this branch was I've had family members and friends, mothers and relatives who suffered from breast cancer. And when they were getting treated, I thought at that time they weren't getting quality care. So it has been an endeavor to provide quality standardized care, which is equivalent to world standards, through this breast unit.
Yes, sir, that's quite right. As a surgeon, you undoubtedly go through so many tense situations. What has been the most challenging moment in your career so far?
Well, there have been a lot of challenging moments, a lot of interesting cases. So ours was the unit which handled the Nirbhaya case. So that was truly the most emotional case I've been involved with. Emotionally, it was very draining for us to see what had happened, right? Another challenging case which I would like to discuss is there was a 16-year-old boy who had consumed 250 metallic items, right? And 2 high-powered magnets as well. So all those magnets were holding all those items together in his gut. And eventually his sister realized that he was eating her hair clips as well. And that's when she complained to her parents, and they made him stop. But the day he stopped, 2 days after that, his intestines perforated because of those metallic items. So I was the one who operated him, and we got almost 300 to 400 metallic items out from his gut. So that was also quite a challenging case. I like to call him Metallo Man, and those magnets saved him.
This is truly challenging. I cannot imagine being in that situation for sure. You've been a part of the Indian and the American health systems as well. Which one do you prefer? And could you give us a comparative analysis as well?
So the fact that I'm talking to you, I think I prefer the Indian system more. That's why I'm here. But there are pros and cons of both the systems. So the reason why I wanted to, experience American and UK systems as well was that they are technologically better than us. So to learn new technology. And the other thing which is quite relevant for students who are your prime audience, that they are much more organized than us, right? Sometimes as Indians, we might do a small amount of work, but we portray as if we've done a huge thing, right? They are much more organized, and they know how to balance their work life, right? So our day there used to start at 4:30 a.m. That's when I used to go, whether it was snowing or raining. 4:30 I had to reach the hospital, 4:30 a.m. that is. And everything used to be like clockwork. But we were done by 5. And post 5 p.m. the consultant didn't bother us. They used to say, go and enjoy, do whatever you want to. In India, it's the other way around. In India, if the work can get over by 5, but we'll push it till 7 and we like to portray to people. So that is something which I want to tell all the students that, if you can finish work in the stipulated time or even earlier than that, then the rest of the time is there for you to enjoy. And work-life balance is required to have longevity in your career. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. So those were the reasons why I wanted to go there. But I also feel that system, according to me, is a bit lonely. So that's why I like my own country and the system here.
Wow, your insights are truly very intellectual, and I know our viewers have tons of stuff to take away from here. Your specialty is one which is often shrouded in stigma. How do we raise awareness to overcome that stigma?
So I think so. Since the time I started, a lot of awareness has come into the society, and we are seeing patients with early breast cancers as well. Of course, being a male breast surgeon, I was told that a lot of females would not like to come to you. And I don't count how many surgeries I've done. The only count I maintain is how many females have said that you're not going to get examined by you. And I can count them on my fingers, so they've not been many. So as long as you are telling the right information, you're conveying right things to them, I don't think so there's a stigma attached to it. So personally speaking, for students like it's so good that the education system is now talking about sexual health, about menstruation. And in that, I think so breast cancer should also be a part, because we are seeing ladies and girls, in fact unmarried girls in their 20s also getting breast cancer.
Thank you, sir, for your opinions on these. I think our viewers will definitely be motivated. Since many people are not aware of it, could you share certain common symptoms of breast cancer?
Sure. So breast cancer is the most common cancer all over the world now. And the most common symptom of breast cancer is a lump in the breast. एक छाती के अंदर गांठ होना. Now, a common misconception which ladies have is that this lump is usually painful. But that's not the case. So, cancer is the smartest thing out there. And cancer wants to hide itself. Right? So, initially the lump is painless. And that is how it is able to grow in the body. So any painless lump in the breast which is persisting for more than one cycle, a lady should not ignore it. That's the most common symptom. Other than that, there can be nipple discharge. And nipple discharge which is spontaneous. So if I get a lady who says that she woke up in the morning and the undergarment was stained with blood or there was discharge there, that is significant discharge for me. Right? Then sometimes the skin over the breast can become thickened, which we call as an orange peel appearance. संतरे के छिलके जैसी हो जाती है. Or a recent change in the size or shape of the breast. Or the nipple which was outside, if it is retracted inside, that can also be a sign of breast cancer. And sometimes there can be underarm lumps which can also present as breast cancer. So these are the common symptoms which a lady should be aware of.
Wow, this is certainly a lot of information to take in. What are some of the challenges in the breast surgery sector?
Look, whenever you're dealing with cancer, it is an emotionally demanding field, right? Because you will have patients who will do well and there will be a certain subset of patients who are not going to do well, right? So you have to deal with patients progressing with their cancer. You have to deal with death as well, right? So it is emotionally demanding and it is teamwork. So you need to have a good set of people around you who can support you in this endeavor. And, we also have a support group. Right, so regularly our patients meet. You can see here that 2 or 3 times a year, all of us meet, we share our experiences, and we learn from the patients and they learn from our experiences. So that's how we keep on progressing.
Being a doctor is certainly such a good profession, and I can see you're working really hard towards it. As a doctor, your calendar must be full 24/7. Amidst juggling a busy schedule, how do you maintain such a work-life balance?
So like I said, this is something which I learned from the Western medical system, the work-life balance part. And when I started practicing, I was very clear that I wanted time for myself, my hobbies and my family. Right, so I start my day early. By 8 o'clock, I'm in the hospital, I start operating. But by 3, I'm done. I don't practice in the evening. In the evenings, I leave time for my family. I play cricket regularly. I'm fond of bird photography. So I take out time for that. And in addition to that, there's another advice which I give all doctors, that they should always have an alternate source of income, right? So I run 3 apps and I teach as well. So that's what I do. So that's why I wrap up my practice by 3 and then I'm off doing my other things.
Wow, that's really nice, sir.
So I just would like to add that, what is important is discipline. And often students keep on running behind motivation. And I see almost so many school students or doctors always searching for motivational quotes. But I think so the most important thing is discipline. If you become disciplined, then you don't need external motivation.
Truly, discipline can actually help you in every field, being a student or being in any sort of career. We want to ask you, what advice would you give to someone who is looking to be more proactive towards their health?
So in today's day and age where, people are addicted to their phones, TV, and junk food is so freely available, I would just say take out some time just to go for a walk, to exercise regularly. Even if it's not on a daily basis, even if it's just 3 to 4 times a week, that is also good enough, right? Keep a close eye on what you eat. And one more thing in today's generation, what I've seen is that everyone tries to make radical changes. So, come 1st January, everyone would come with a New Year resolution that I'll be healthier this year, I'll eat healthy, I'll exercise, but they are unable to sustain it beyond 1 week. So that's where I recommend that, tiny habits are very important. So you start small and then you gradually add on it, and then only it becomes a habit, and then you can get discipline into it as well. But unfortunately, what people think is that, I'll start going to the gym today and I will do 100 push-ups. After doing 100 push-ups, they are so sore that they'll not exercise for a week and their habit goes for a toss. So it's better to start with 5 and then each week increase it by 10%, and then you can make it a habit.
Yes, this is such helpful advice even for students and adults alike. Lastly, I would like to ask you, you've been a part of this sector for the last 15 years. If you weren't a surgeon, what other career path would you have chosen?
Well, I just wish that sports were promoted when I was growing up, because I always wanted to, play cricket or be an athlete. And I thought of being a sports journalist as well. But at that time, I think so, there wasn't much exposure in these branches. And I have no regrets. I'm very happy being a doctor. And today's day and age is such that, parallelly, I can pursue my hobbies and passions as well.
Those are some interesting career choices. Thank you so much, sir, for answering all of my questions. And I'm sure our viewers must have enjoyed this episode for today.
Thank you, Mabel. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Bye-bye.